Hello guys, this is Mr. Lopez, and in this video today I'm going to go over the Unit 9 test review. I'm not going to do every problem, but I'm going to do one of every type. So let's go ahead and get started because I want to keep this video short. Alright, so there are going to be two parts to the test. There's going to be the calculator and non-calculator. This review does have all the answers on the back. We're going to go ahead and start off with the calculator part of the test. Alright, so step number one, you want to convert to radians. So to convert to radians, you're going to multiply by pi over 180. So you would do negative 235 times pi over 180. So remember, you would type it into Desmos just like that. So you would do, one second. So then you would do negative 235. You leave the negative times. You put the pi divided by 180, and that gives you the answer. So that would be negative 4.102. I will leave number 2 for you to practice. You can kind of check to see if you're doing those right. When you convert into degrees, you go the other way around. So if you're gonna take 17 pi over 8 times, you're going to put 180 on top, but you're going to put pi on the bottom. So here technically the pi's will cancel. Now on this problem, when you do this problem, the pi's don't cancel, so you just multiply it by that right there. But what I'm going to do here, just to show you, hold on, let me put these together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the pi's in there just to show you that the answers are the same. Let me put the pi on top. I'll leave the pi in there. You don't have to, but... And then this would be, then you would do pi divided by 180. So that would be the answer. So, number 3. Oh, wait, I did that wrong. My bad. It should be 180 divided by pi. My bad. There you go. So that's the correct answer. If I remove the pi's in this case here, you get the same thing. So you still get the same thing. All right, so the answer then would be 382. Or we'll round degrees. Let's round to the nearest whole number for the entire test or the test review. Okay, we'll be jumping back and forth to the calculator. Okay, so this right here, you're just typing this into the calculator, just knowing how to use your calculator to get these answers. So on this one, now on section 1, it does not matter. When we did numbers 1 and 3, it does not matter if you're in degrees or radians. It doesn't change the answer. So like if I do this, notice how the answers are not changing. So it does not matter. But when you get to this part and you notice that you're going to take the sine or you're going to take, you're going to use a trig function to get the answer. Here it does matter. So I'm only going to do 2 problems. I'm only going to do number 5 and number 9. This one has to be in degrees. So we'll go ahead and pull up the trig function. We'll do sine, and then we'll do 23.1, and boom, that's your answer, 0.392. And again, for all these problems, you're going to round to the nearest thousandth, 3 decimal places. When I see something that looks like this, there is no degree symbol, then you're going to put it in radians. So you go here. So on the test, it's going to be important that you're toggling back and forth correctly. Then you're going to do pi, and then you have to put the pi in there, right? And then so this would be basically, oh, wait, I need to change this into radians. Oops, almost made that mistake. So then this would be 0.809. What number is that? That's number 9. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. All right. So there are plenty of problems for you to practice on right there. So, and then again, the answers are on the back. Okay. For this next section, this is what a lot of the test is going to be about. This is where you have to be good at this right here. So this right here, this is the calculator part of your test. So here you don't need to use your chart as much or your organizer as much. So I'm going to do number 11, and I'll probably do number 13. You guys can do 12 and 14 on your own. That way you have an example to practice on. So on this one right here, there's nothing to solve. You're just ready to find the angle. So you're gonna use the calculator to get the inverse angle. Or I'm sorry, the angle. You're gonna use the inverse to find the angle. So we're gonna do sine -1. Don't put the negative in here. So you're only gonna put that right there. So let me go ahead and I should just probably leave the calculator right there. It's just we're gonna need it a lot anyway. So then here, so we on this one we need to be in degrees, and the way I know that is because they want the answer in degrees. This right here tells me they want the answer in degrees. That's all that says. And notice that I put that right there. So when you're on the test, you're going to want to be looking for stuff like this. This means that you are in degrees. So make sure you're paying attention. Like, am I in degrees or radians? Because you will get the problem wrong if you're not correct. So here, first thing I want to do is make sure I'm in degrees. So I'm going to use the inverse. Boom. Type in 0.19. And then I get about, now, anytime you're in degrees, you get to round to the nearest whole number. That rounds to about 11 degrees. Okay, so now, because sine is negative, then we're gonna go ahead and now we're gonna use our chart, right here. So sine is negative in quadrants 3 and 4. So that's what we want. So this is where we'll use that. So we're going to come here and we want quadrants 3 and 4. So to get quadrant 3, you're going to do, so for this quadrant, remember, you're going to do 180 plus 11. So that means that the answer would be 191 degrees theta. And the other answer here, in this quadrant, you do 360 minus 11. So then the answer would be 349. And those are both of your answers. This one does not have a parameter, which means you want both answers. So you're done. You don't do anything else. When you look at number 13, well, let me box my answer here real quick. When you look at number 13, this is different. This has a parameter. So on the parameter, just leave it till the very end. Don't mess with it right now. We'll come back to it later. We're just going to do this part first. We're going to solve for it. We're going to do the same thing we did on number 11. So if you can do 11, you can do this one. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to multiply both sides by 7. So I'm going to multiply the left by 7. We're going to multiply that by 7. So that cancels out. I'm going to bring this down. Then you're going to divide by -5. All right, and now we're going to do basically the same thing that we did. Let me delete all this stuff on the right side. Now we're going to do the same thing that we did on the previous problem. We're going to use the inverse. So we're going to do secant inverse. We don't put the negative in there. You can make that a decimal if it makes you feel better. We pull up secant. We put in 14 divided by 5. This one we need to be in degrees, right? So 69 degrees. So that means that our reference angle is 69. Okay. So now, this is where you're going to do your quadrants. This is negative right here. So we must choose the negative quadrants for secant, which are going to be quadrants 2 and 3. So now, this is where you're going to bring in the parameter, right? So we're going to come look at this over here. This means when you see greater than, this just means sign is positive. So when is sign positive? So that's all we care about. We're looking for sign positive. Sign is positive in quadrants 1 and 2. The two quadrants that match, that's our answer. So we'll notice that they are both true in quadrant 2. That's what we want. So using the reference angle, we only want quadrant 2. So we're going to do 180 minus 69. So then that's going to give you, what number is this? 11. So 111. And that's it. You only have, on this one, you only have one answer. You don't have two. All right, that leaves two problems for you to practice on. Just real quick on 14, you want to subtract 9 first and then divide by 3. And then you just kind of go from there. Okay, on to the next section. Okay, these, I like these. I know some of you did not like these, but these are easy because these are done the same way always. You just have to know which quadrant it's in. You're always going to use tan inverse. So whenever you get to the P problem, you're always going to use tan inverse. You're not going to use sine. You're not going to use cosine. That's it. And you're always only going to have one answer. There aren't going to be two. There's only going to be one. This one is going to be in degrees, so that's nice. We can round to the nearest whole number. So number 15, what you want to do is you want to graph that, or just know what quadrant it's in. This is in quadrant 1, right? Because if I was to sketch a graph, if I did 2, well, let me do this color, go 2 this way, go 5 up, and there's your triangle. This would be 2, this would be 5, which means the triangle is in quadrant 1. So that's really all we need. So now we're just going to use tan to find that angle right there. So we're going to do tan inverse. Now tan inverse is y divided by x. So you're always going to do tan, this is your x, this is your y. So you're always going to do the second number first and the first number last. So you go like that. And then you just type it in. Make sure you're in degrees. Yes, we are. We come here, we do tan inverse. We do 5 divided by 2 and about 68 degrees. So we're done, right? Because the reference angle is 68. We want quadrant 1. We don't have to do anything. And that is your answer. Your answer is 68 degrees, and we're done. That was number 15. There's one for you to try right here. This is in a different quadrant, so be careful with that. Okay, now for this part right here, this right here is non-calculator. You will have to use your chart, okay? So pretty easy, right, if you're using your chart on this one here. So really what you're doing, you're just going to get your answers from here, right? It's either going to be here, it's going to be here, or it's going to be here. So there are 3 spots. So now let's get back to the review. So we go here. So cosine 45, if you look at your chart, please have your chart out while I'm doing the review. That way I don't have to flip back and forth. Look at the top left. You go to cosine 45, and that's equal to radical 2 over 2. And that's it. Sine is 2/3. This is the same as 120. So 120, the reference angle for this one is 60 degrees, right? Let me show you here. So let me go back here. So we do, so see how this is 2 pi thirds? We're gonna go here. 2 pi thirds is the same as, where is it at? Right here. That means that all these right here are your reference angles. So these right here, these are all your fishies. So that means that the 120 belongs to the family of the reference angles of 60. So we want 120, so we go to 60, so we're gonna come up here. I already forgot what, let's see, it was sine. So we want sine of 60, so the answer would be that right there. So it's gonna be radical 3 over 2 on that one. So this would be radical 3 over 2, and you're done. This one right here, also the way I know too is this, if you're dividing by 6, that's a reference angle of 30. So the reference angle for this one is 30, but you can find this on your chart. So the reference angle for that one is 30. Then I'm gonna go to my secant table. You're gonna go look down here. So I go to secant 30, it's right there. So it's 2 radical 3 over 3. So then this one would be 2 radical 3 over 3. And so on. Let me change it up a little bit. Let me do one that's a quad angle. Let's do this one right here. Okay, number 4. This right here is 90 degrees. So on here, you're going to look on the table, okay? Not the table, sorry. You're gonna look here. So we're looking for negative 90 degrees. So negative 90 is gonna be right here. Positive 90 is right here, but negative 90 is on the bottom. So we're gonna look at these 2 points right there. Tangent is y over x. So we're gonna take our x value divided by, we're gonna take our y divided by our x. So then that would be tangent at negative pi over 2, it's equal to, and this is going to be y is negative 1, x is 0. You can't divide by 0, so tangent is undefined at negative 90. So one thing to remember, tangent will always be undefined here at 90, 270, or negative 90 or negative 270. If the angle ever lands here, it's undefined. Cotangent is undefined here. So a little trick to know for the test, that would be that'll be helpful for you. So for this one, the answer to this one would be undefined for number 4. Okay, so I'll leave the rest up to you so you can work those out. One thing you'll probably need to know is for cosecant on this one, cosecant is 1 over y. I can give you guys this for the test. Okay, so let's move on. This part right here is basically the same thing. Now this is non-calculator, so you won't be able to use Desmos here. But this section right here is the same thing as this right here. The only difference is that you are not using a calculator. You're using your organizer only. So here, this one is ready. We're just gonna get our reference angle. So then this one here would be 60 degrees, because cosine at 1/2 is 60 degrees. Cosine, this is positive, right? So cosine is positive at 1 and 4, quadrants 1 and 4. Tangent is negative in 2 and 4. So therefore, the common answer would be quadrant 4. So then to get the answer for quadrant 4, we're going to take this number and we're going to do 360 minus 60. So our answer is going to be 300. And you're done. So notice how it's the same. I did not use let's close the calculator. We don't even need it anymore. So notice how we're not using the calculator. Let's do, I think I'm gonna do this one down here, okay? So on number 14, you're gonna plus 3 first. You have to isolate the cosine. So you're not using Desmos, so we bring this down. This gives you 3. We're gonna divide by 4. And then this is gonna be cosine squared. And then we're gonna take the square root here. This cancels. So then this is gonna be cosine theta plus or minus, right? You gotta put plus or minus. It's gonna be the square root of 3. The square root of 4 is just 2, right? So then you go to your chart, cosine, when it's radical 3 over 2, the reference angle is 30. Now, because it's plus or minus, we want all 4 quadrants. We want 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one does not have any restrictions, so we're just gonna go ahead and list all, or not restrictions, but any parameters. So we want all reference angles with 30 degrees, so it's gonna be 30, 150, 210, 330, and you are done, and that gives you that right there. Okay, let's see, do I need to do this one right here? These are all pretty much the same. This one right here, you're gonna use for 15, I'm not gonna do 15 because I wanna keep this video short, but on 15, you would use this right here, right? Secant at square root of 2 is 45 degrees, and you just kind of go from there. And then just do what we've been doing, and then you should be able to get the answer. On number 16, you're going to use the quad angle. So on this one, you're going to use this right here, okay? I won't do it for you, that way you can have some practice. You do have the answers posted so that you can use that to help you out. If you need any help, hopefully this video will help you and prepare you for the test that's scheduled for Monday or Tuesday. Good luck, and I'll see you then.